You're listening to the Unreasonable Fridays Podcast Network.
Go ahead, stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of ADDSpace. I'm your host, Aaron Ryan Freeman, but with me, the actual host, the owner, proprietor, CEO, CFO, Chief Financial Officer, Chief Creative Officer, Lead Artist, Head Therapist, Travel Czar, and Head Martial Artist, Bacon. Bacon, how are you?
Hi, I'm here.
That's a very loaded here.
Here.
I know that's the here of the times, isn't it?
My life feels like a series of timed events.
You ever find out whether that water on the floor was from something that's going to cost you money?
Haven't looked.
That's fair. I have one.
That is for after this podcast recording, when I clean, like, do the round. I will go towards my kitchen. I will clean my kitchen. I will circle around and start cleaning my bathroom, and then we will look at the floor.
Yeah, it's always very funny because now we're all broke, so sometimes things are wrong and you feel like it's like a horror movie. You feel like you're being haunted by a bill. It's like the first 30 minutes of Paranormal Activity when things are falling and things are weird and you're hearing whispers and there's something in the woods, but it's not something in the woods, and it might be a bill, but it might not be a bill, and your car's making a noise, but it might be because of the rain. You might have a puddle of water, but it might be something because of it might actually be you. You might have actually dropped some water, stepped out of the shower with a drippy foot. You know what I mean? Or it could be a serious plumbing issue like what we have. One of the pipes that drain from the top of the house out into the thing is clogged. So now the two sinks in the bathroom periodically fill up with water. So I had to take a little shop vac and vacuum up the water 5 times a day. It's sensational. It's going to cost us money. We're being haunted by a bill. Also with us, the most reliable co-host in the history of American podcasting. Can't speak for other countries' podcasting. There might be someone of comparable talent in Austria. Do not know. Justin, how are you?
So okay. I was on the insanity check recently.
Right.
We love the insanity check.
We fuck with it. Go on.
And we were discussing what would happen because, it was right before game 5 and they're like, hey, we gonna be good. You gonna be all right. And I was like, look, if we lose, just know the level of toxicity in my system, it's not going to be good. Like, I might have to call Deepom and just leave an unhinged voicemail with how bad this is going to get. So that didn't happen. And I want to say, I'm glad it didn't, because I should not be that. One of my favorite things to post on Blue Sky is just a little TikTok of a guy who's like, oh man, my favorite sports team lost. This has no impact on my real life in any way whatsoever, and I shouldn't let it ruin my day, but I'm going to fucking let it. That was me, and I realized that was me.
Yeah.
When I'm at the gym in the morning, and on the treadmill, I was listening to the BBC broadcast of "I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream."
Jesus Christ!
Which Harlan Ellison, chef's kiss, like not just as writer, but as because he voices Am.
Yeah.
Letting that permeate my system and just like marinating on that incredible monologue, I actually started to feel the hate. So I needed to replace that with something. So I just finished my reread of Song of Achilles, replaced that hatred with some yearning, some good old fashioned yearning. And we're good. We're good. The moral of the story is I shouldn't let other people's joy make me upset. And it was physically making me upset.
I mean, I will say that the worst thing is the Spurs have the highest upside in basketball, even higher than the Thunder, because they have the terrible coach that will ruin them for several seasons until he's fired. Your team has an incredible upside. I didn't even realize Castle was only 21. I thought he was 24. Holy shit. I thought he was 24. Everybody's a kid. They're all 20 years old. They got to the finals. It required the best version of a team that's been together for 4 seasons and absolute straight magic to win. Straight deployment of magic. So, I mean, while I understand having an upside is great, having one before is also great. You had a 4-season break from being great, and now you're back. Your team is back to being great, and they're all 20. And they're all maniacs, which is the thing that I like the most about the Spurs, is that all of the young kids are into it. They're locked in a way I never see. The Gen Z distant stare has made it into the NBA, where some of the kids are just not locked in. And it's shout outs to their ability to play basketball, but they're not into it. The Spurs are into it 1-7. And so the future's bright. Harlan Ellison is one of the most famously miserable human beings of all time.
Famously miserable.
If you ever want to have a miserable time and you see a game on sale, get the game. There's a point-and-click adventure, Night Dive Remastered, same thing. It is the most miserable game because it's a point-and-click adventure with obscure outcomes, and some of the outcomes will absolutely... the way you have to go through the game is to die and amuse the robot, is in amuse Am, and then some of the solutions are terrible. And yeah, like it's a dark. If you want to truly, it really does feel like the true Harlan Ellison experience. So if you ever see it on sale, like forever, it's on everything. I think it's even like iOS. So like everything. If you see it like $4, $3, try it. It is the interactive Harlan Ellison experience you might need if the Spurs lose again. You might need it. I felt the opposite. I felt the opposite, though, because I'm from New York and haven't liked the Knicks for 20 years because the Knicks have been a clown show. James Dolan is a clown. Celebrity Row is all Zionists and rapists, and Timothy Chalamet's low-riding fucking jeans. And it's been an embarrassment for decades. Teams poorly constructed. The fans psych themselves out every season. James Dolan took a step back like 5 years ago, let Leon Rose handle it. The team came together, but the Knicks are still a clown show. James Dolan got involved in one game they lost, bringing the president to the fucking Garden to kill the vibes, jack up the ticket prices, force everybody away from the Garden, because one of the things is everybody was surrounding the Garden watching the games. And then James Dolan blamed Mamdani for securing the arena because he asked the president to show up and the president showed up. Knicks are a clown show, except now where the team has stepped over that stupid shit and connected with the yahoos that run around New York and work all day. And that's the beautiful part. It's cool that they win. They came together. Kat came together. Jalen Brunson came together. A bunch of casts off came together. Shout outs to Mike Brown, the Kings, farming out assets to every available NBA team that wants a quality asset. The Kings have got you. But that bit right there, and I felt it. I was like, oh, what a decent team, not full of knuckleheads that have nothing to do with the owner or any of these wealthy people. It's not a team reflective of Celebrity Row. It's selective of the people on Side Talk jumping up and down on the Amazon train, setting them Wembanyama jerseys on fire. And it felt nice. 20 years of hating the Knicks for a good reason. I was like, oh, this is right. This is basketball. This is how it's supposed to be. I mean, we did set some school buses on fire. We did. No harm, no foul. They have insurance. It's fine. But
what district were those buses from?
I don't know, nigga. They in New York. They set them niggas on fire when the Knicks won.
Yeah, no, I'm just making sure.
I don't know. Listen, I don't know them yellow school. Listen, I don't know. Listen, I don't know. I don't know the fine details. I just know the city did in fact burn a little. It didn't burn entirely, but it was a little pan-seared on both sides. It was a nice browning of the city when the Knicks won. And that was nice. It felt
Just meant the city was a little bit warmer.
it's a little warm. It's a little, like when, how long does it take make one egg? About 3 minutes, like that, just a little on one side, a little on the other side, and then you're good to go. So,
That egg feels really undercooked.
3 minutes on high? 3 minutes on the little egg on the little cast iron, Jamie? It'll take 3 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. Little cast iron pan. It's perfectly good. Yeah. Well, anyway.
And it is that level of joy and chaos, honestly, that ordinarily, like throughout most of the year, I found that endearing. I found that endearing and amusing. But then it just started stirring the worst parts of me, and I was like, you know what? Break time. Let's take a break.
Are you like
because when we come back, we're going to ruin this sport for you people. You're going to look at us the way you look at Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes.
Hell yeah.
You are going to hate us, and I'm going to love and relish every minute of it.
I'm very excited about this. I think the Spurs are built to, and to be clear, I don't like the Thunder, not for the reasons other people do. I just think they're poorly coached. They're a waste of talent. If they got rid of the coach, I like the Thunder more. But the Spurs have a higher ceiling, better players on the top end, better coach, better infrastructure, sort of like the Thunder have all the bad. I won't get into it. But yeah, your team's looking good. It still is. And like I said, you are like a wealthy white woman just shaking because there's carnival happening down the street, because the Spurs have been good for 20 years and they were kind of bad for 3. And then they nailed all 3 of those drafts perfectly, including taking the most talented offensive player in several drafts, Dylan Harper. I remember looking at the scouting report. They were like, oh, yeah, he can't shoot, so we don't know. How about the fact that nobody can guard him?
Hey, well, Kawhi Leonard couldn't shoot, and we made that work.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Shooting mechanics can be fixed. I don't care about that.
Nobody can stay in front of him, and he's giving everybody a hot 20%, and he's changing directions like Pac-Man, reverse spin between behind the back, sudden shift, dip into the shoulder, up and under, either hand. Come on now. He's 19. Come on now. So yeah, the Spurs are fine.
No,
You are a wealthy white woman. You're like that meme where the white woman's shaking the window and tears down the car.
That is exactly what I am, and I am mature enough to acknowledge that.
What are you gonna say, Bacon?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just saying the same thing that I had told you before. Like, I feel like, and some other people. I just feel like, New York has, been kind of like really like struggling, especially in the identity department, especially with all these motherfucking gentrifiers just coming in and fucking up the place. And there's just like a lot of stuff about New York that had kind of gotten like lost, and New York really needed some wins, like some key wins to the soul, to the heart. And they finally got a mayor who is not on drugs, though might be doing drugs with drag queens, which we're all fine with. And they really needed the Knicks to win, and this was the best time for it. And now that this has gotten over with, and the heart and soul of New York can like grow again, the Spurs can now destroy everybody for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, my favorite thing about Victor Wembanyama is that he takes all of this very seriously and very personally, and that's my favorite thing about it. He's very aware of what he is and who he is and what he needs to do and the attention that he has for being who he is. And Castle is the same way. Castle wants to do the thing. And like I said, we just met Dylan Harper. I just met him. He's 19. He seems like for him to be able to do all of this straight through, like literally he had 25 points in the closeout game. He was the only Spur that could score on his man in that last game, in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. So, the Spurs will control the NBA. And I'm rooting for him because I don't like the Thunder. I like the Spurs. I like the way the organization is. I appreciate the Spurs, and I appreciate sustained excellence in sports. I know the Patriots have ruined the concept, but I love it because it's hard to do. It's not easy. It's hard, especially basketball because of the Big Three era. There's been an aggressive pushback in your ability to use money to acquire talent. Full stop in basketball. You have to draft well and pay the right people perfectly, or else you get hard punished and your roster construction suffers for it. So for the Spurs to find both lead guards, versatile guards, and Victor Wembanyama, and like I said, Carter Bryant looks like Blake Griffin. He's insane, but he looks like Blake Griffin in spurts, and he's 20 himself, and I like that. So like they've got the guys. They nailed all the drafts, and yeah, big picture person. I'm a Warriors fan, so like we won a lot. I just like the Warriors to like draft adequately once, maybe twice. Like as a Warriors fan, it must be fucking nice to go 3 for 3 with 3 top 15 players in the NBA 3 years in a fucking row. Justin, must be fucking nice. Warriors are terrible at this shit. We're about to we're gonna sign LeBron fucking James.
You had the greatest shooter of all time.
Yes.
One of like a Hall of Fame caliber shooter.
Yeah.
A Hall of Fame caliber defender.
Yeah.
And you had Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
This is the man drowning, watching the man die of thirst.
Yeah, listen, bro. I would love to nail a draft. I'm not even talking about 3 in a row like the Spurs. A singular draft. We are terrible at this shit. We drafted James fucking Wiseman, and we didn't draft Anthony fucking Edwards. Please, a draft. We drafted Jordan Poole, and it worked out. And then Jordan Poole met the baddies, and the fucking wheels came off.
Okay. Bacon, that's actually what happened. Like he got there, met the baddies, and was like, "Oh, I'm home."
Bro.
Lost his ever-loving mind.
He locked in for 70 games and the playoff run. The Warriors won the title because they had 3 high-level scorers. He immediately, as soon as he saw the fruits of his labor, he got drunk off all of it. And he's never been the same. He's never locked in since, Bacon. The baddies, he has not. It's been 3-4 seasons. He has not locked in since. He's a laughing stock. He is a meme. And he doesn't care too much because of the baddies and the money. He is exactly the black athlete that the white people are worried about. The racism. He is exactly that guy.
If you ever want to laugh, J.R. Smith, his splits, games before Miami on a Friday, games after Miami on a Friday. The drop is like, oh, we know what you were doing.
Listen, at least J.R. Smith can put it together. Jordan Poole put it together for 3/4 of a season in a playoff run. And never again. Literally, never again. At least J.R. Smith could lock it in. He had his moments. And then he was a very good role player for a team that I believe won the title. He won a title with the Cavs with LeBron. I think he won a title with LeBron. So yeah, no. Yeah, he did it. Jordan Poole is unable to do it. He's Miami at 2 a.m. all the time, around the clock.
Yes.
And yeah. So I would love to nail a draft, just one, so that there could be a young player on the team. I go, oh, look at that young, talented player on my team. Even if they leave, because the Warriors are mismanaged, the cap's ruined. They can't retain anybody. Even if they leave, just to have him there for 3 seasons, and then him unceremoniously sign with like the Nets or something. Fine. I just like to see it. So. Again,
this is also my favorite thing to do in NBA 2K. because unlike Madden, 2K salary cap is somewhat manageable. Like it functions the way a regular salary cap should, at least for like 5 or 6 seasons, and then math gets weird and everything explodes. But Madden, it just explodes after 2 seasons. But I like it in 2K. Like, to be clear, and I've said this on the show before, the only reason I will ever play NBA 2K, and that's why I always get it when it's on sale, because, as I've told you before, during the playoffs and finals of any sporting event, that game will go on sale for like 80% off or free during that time, without fail. And 2K was like $10 during the finals. Like, my time to shine. So I do the franchise mode. I like rebuilding. I like drafting. I like seeing if I can put a good team together, because I am not great at 2K. I will definitely sit there and just sim all the games to see if they can win. Because if I play myself, I'm getting my ass kicked on easy. I acknowledge this about myself.
Do you know why? Because
okay, is anybody good at 2K if they're not pay to win? I'm just asking.
There are people who are good, but the skills that you learn at basketball are not directly related to playing. It's not like in Madden, you can play Madden like a football game with a football understanding. 2K, you cannot play that game like real basketball.
And that's what screws me up, because I'm trying to play real basketball.
Right.
That's not gonna work, honey.
I gave up on that. I used to go into 2K13 when it was the focus of the game, and I would be manipulating AI sliders for the coach and the plays, and because no one plays 2K better than 2K itself. No living person makes 2K look better than the game itself with the right sliders. So I would just set it up and just be running my team and watch all the games and be adjusting people's like granularly by the sliders, tendencies, free forms, layup packages, just trying to see what I could get out of the game. They took the focus off of that though, didn't they? Like I don't know.
Kind of like that. They took away the granular play calling part of it because they wanted to encourage the user to call the plays themselves. Right? So like you can kind of direct pace, tempo, and focus. But in terms of like, hey, I want you to call this play this so often, like, no, we want you to do that. And it's like, well, if I'm just simming these games, I want you to do that, 2K.
Yeah, that was the point. That was my favorite bit was when you in 2K, old 2K, you had a coach, and the quality of your coach affected the crispness of the plays you called.
Yes. And so that's still there. That is still there.
Ooh.
Like if you have a bad coach, you will feel it. There is no amount of being good at the game that will save you from having a bad coach.
Those 2K bad possessions when you had the F coach and the end of the game, and this is the point guard dribbling the ball for 19 seconds and shooting it like in real life. I'm like, oh no, you're fired, homie. You're fired. No.
I just had a game against the Pelicans, and their brilliant idea was Anthony Davis, my other friend. So it's an online league. It's like me, my brother, my best friend. He got Zion away from the Pelicans and sent them Anthony Davis. They took that trade straight up. So that tells you that no. But their offense, the whole game, I shit you not, the whole game plan was give the ball Anthony Davis in the post and just, okay, make something happen. I was like, oh, this is your offense. This is what it is. Like there's no space. There's no, oh, you're bad. So I went and looked at the coach. Yep. 1-star coach. There we go. There it is.
Yeah. Oh, cool. That's still in the game. I really like that that's still in the game.
Yeah.
All right. We have a limited amount of time with you. So we will go into we were trying to talk about games we wanted to play, but we have to address, I guess, elephants in the room before we do it.
They need to be addressed.
Which elephants? There's so many.
Several elephants. I mean, I don't know. We've got there's one medium-sized elephant where Destiny ended last Tuesday, and the last major update. Still going to be some hot figures, but at some point there will be no more updates. And then after they're done with the updates, I assume they're going to lay off 200 or 300 more people. That's cool. Microsoft is apparently in negotiations with several of the studios that they own, including Ninja Theory, Double Fine, and Compulsion, the makers of South of Midnight, podcast favorite. and negotiating them to buy their own independence, or if they can find someone to take them off their hands. Either way, it's going to be massive layoffs for all of those studios, whether they find buyers or buy their own way to freedom.
We don't know what studios are getting closed, and we don't know who's in negotiations over, like, if they're buying their freedom or not. We've heard some names, like some studios. They've basically, because none of the studios know if they're on the chopping block or not, and they know that everybody is on the chopping block because this is Microsoft is doing a oh fuck, we're fucked level restructuring. So that means everybody's on the chopping block.
Yeah,
and so everybody, and I'll let you talk about Asha's letter in a second. Everybody is basically telling all of their employees, yes, you can go be free to look for jobs, and in the process are also trying to, like, enter negotiations for their own studios to, like, weather whatever is going to come, because guess what, we're in a recession. But right now, there's nothing confirmed.
Oh yeah,
literally nothing. Pure, like, I need to giant highlight, underline, exclamation mark, everything circle. Nothing is confirmed. We don't have any information on anybody.
No. I do appreciate, as far as appreciating the behavior of a soulless corporation that would sooner have me killed than acknowledge my humanity as an individual person. Asha Sharma did actually discuss openly about the level of mismanagement, acquired too many studios and without quite a plan, and then they acquired Activision with even less of a plan. So they're in the hole for big unhinged spending, and now they're gonna have to rectify the situation in the ugliest way possible.
Yeah, and I think part of it too is, like, I don't think anybody realized how, like, everybody was just like, when it came to the acquisition, everybody was legit like, oh, I don't know what Microsoft is doing. This is a huge purchase. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is massive. And you guys aren't, like, putting out stuff to make up for that spending. But and to be honest, that's not really abnormal for large entities. I'm not saying whether this is not caping for companies. This is not saying whether it's right or wrong.
Right.
This is no moral value here. It is a thing businesses will do. They will do acquisitions in hopes that the acquisitions will down the road bring revenue into the business. If they do it with proper planning, they can weather the losses that they will have in the short term because they'll get gains in the long term. It is now, whether or not that happens in, like, actually a savvy way is a different story. We don't see it happen well often. And a thing that does usually happen further down the line, which is what we're seeing right now, is you'll see companies start shedding all of that excess that they had built up over however long. You'll see companies be like, maybe we're not actually this hot, like, big thing. Maybe we should go back to our roots, like, stop doing hip hop and go back to doing country music.
Yeah, that's actually that's really accurate. And I was like, it's weird, it's strange, because, like, the studios that they've acquired make delightful double/AAA games. There are tours. Like, I hate to say, like, I love the idea of it if they understood what they bought, but it seems as though no one knows what they're buying when they're doing these acquisitions. You bought our tours. You bought fucking Double Fine, for Christ's fucking sake. You bought fucking Compulsion. They're such arteurs that they care about fucking black culture. You understand the level of artist you have to be to make a story about Southern black culture and spend years researching that shit? That's not corporate at all. You're not going to make a lot of money off that shit. That's real art. God damn it. Ninja Theory. For fuck's sake, all they do is tell stories. They even turned Devil May Cry into a reasonable. So you understand the storytelling, the art. They made the only Devil May Cry story of value in 20 years. 20 odd years of Devil May Cry. The best story, not the best game, won't argue, but the best story, far and away Ninja Theory's story. And yeah, you're not making enough because you're not gonna, because they're gonna make art. I don't know what to tell you, big dog, but here we are again. You can't make all the money with art. You can't, and also we don't have all the money. Like, we're out of money, so you will never be able to make all the money with art, and we are out of money. We're broke.
Yeah, so the thing to remember is that sorry, my brain. One of the things that I was trying to say before is that it's like a lot of businesses will shed off excess. Now, something I've noticed, and this could just be me conspiracy theory brain, is that the model is number go up. Well, sometimes number just stop going up. But if number is down for a while, number can then only go up again. that like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's just what I keep thinking about, is I'm just like, oh, what a way to get shareholders off of your back, because you can only go up from here. But with the thing that Asha was mentioning in the letter, which you'll touch on, is that if you take everything about the Activision purchase, like the purchase, and that means the losses involved with that purchase and the expected losses with that purchase, with that acquisition, Microsoft, like, Xbox games was down like 20 billion a year,
right,
every year, which meant that they have no fucking business,
right, yeah,
doing any of what they were doing. Like, at all. It was actually just excess spending without like any proper management or literally anything. Like, anything.
Can we officially, I wonder if we can finally get the major corporations to stop buying studios at all. Be like Nintendo.
Never.
Be like Nintendo. They make their stuff, and then when they want someone else to make it, they just pay them to make that thing. They don't own them, because apparently this is not sustainable. If you are greedy, it's not sustainable. Could we maybe, like, now, because if Sony's closed, Sony had the 10 live service games get canceled, and I think they closed 8 of the studios, and then Microsoft is in negotiations to offload all of these studios, if not get rid of them outright, after doing it last year and canceling a bunch of games. So I'm like, this whole owning the developers thing, owning the artists, doesn't work out in general, and now it's just a sharper point on it. Can we never do this again? Can we be done? Like, the live service concept, live service TM, as we were discussing last time. Like, that concept was killed by the locals. Like, literally the peasants set it on fire like Frankenstein. They speared it and burned it to the ground. So can we throw the idea of our corporations owning game developers in that fire, where we're also burning all the witches and stuff? Can we be done with that idea going forward? Because it just doesn't work. There's a fundamental misunderstanding of what you've purchased when you purchase a game developer. So just rent them when you need them, like any other service provider, but don't buy them, because the service long term, you don't understand the service you're being provided. So may this be, from my lips, manifesting this. We're manifesting together. If you're listening, close your eyes unless you're driving. Pull over, close your eyes. Corporations, stop buying game development houses wholesale. Stop it. They will stop it going forward. This is the last time, because it's happened. I think Microsoft has done it 3 times, and Sony's done it 3 times, and it's failed all 3 times. Each time, over the course of 20 odd years. So please, my lips into the universe, please stop doing this. Because this is horrible to hear. Because they want to be bought for the security until there's no security. And then it's the end of it. And then it's the end of all of it. And it's just like they deserve better. All of those developers deserve better than even having to deal with the stress. Even if they land on their feet, they're still going to sprain an ankle. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. All these artists deserve better. Shout outs to Keeper. This is a Double Fine game about what was it? I don't know if I told you about the game about the lighthouse with the legs.
No, you did not.
There's a game about a lighthouse it's just like a narrative game, no talking. It's a game about the journey of a sentient lighthouse, and that's so cute. It is one of the best stories, one of the best games. I love it to death. Yeah, but I'm like I said. I'm so interested in this game. Like, it's wild. I love everything about that. I know. I will drop you some links you might be able to play. This is on Game Pass like the rest of it, so you might be able to play.
Maybe because Microsoft did the one smart thing ever and partner with Discord for Game Pass.
Yeah, so you might be able to do that. But nonetheless, that was that. Luna Abyss, personal fave. I never got around to talking about it. It was like a little bit of Metroid, a little bit of Returnal, very queer, very interesting, very indie. Loved it to death. And I was like, I need to dedicate some time to it. So I played it for about 2 hours. It's a short game, but I never want to play a short game with one eye off the screen because then the game ends and you're still on the phone with your mama. You know what I mean? That's no good. Disrespectful. You know what I mean? So I was going to sit there and I was going to talk about it after I'm done with it because I think it's cool. Like, I think you actually might like it. I think we might like it. But the developer has been, there's Quali Studios inside there. Those group of people that were responsible for that game were all laid off and the game came out like around my birthday, like within 30 days of the game coming out. And it came out on Game Pass and everyone was like, oh, this is really good. Like, it's really well received. They're like, oh, this slaps. Like, it's just general, when an indie game comes out and everyone's like, oh. And then the word of mouth hasn't picked up speed yet, but it's gonna. And they're all gone within 30 days. And not even a live service game, just a regular game. Regular game made by, I think it's like 9 people. So, yeah. So, yeah, and these are the elephants in the room. There are a lot of elephants in the room. Like, there are a lot of games coming out, and there are a lot of interesting things. Like, I always say that the $70 game is, even though the suited types will tell you that it make you think that the only games that are available are the $70 games. For the most part, in reality, the $70 games are vested interests. You know exactly what you're getting when you're giving $75 for a video game. You know exactly what you want, whether it be 2K, Madden, Silent Hill, Resident Evil, whatever. You know what you're doing. And they were coming in crazy. Those are like Onimusha, AC, Control, Wolverine, Fuck Ice. Big stack of like really personally relevant $70 games down the horizon. So, but first we just have to acknowledge that the industry is problematic. Developers live check to check. Corporations are greedy and stupid. Like absolutely dizzy. And we're broke. And that they're having trouble really reconciling all of that with the whole being greedy and dizzy thing.
Well, so that's what, to me, the most frustrating part of all of this. Short-term greed every time will prevent you from long-term profit.
Every fucking time.
Like the short-sighted greed of these companies and acquisitions is preventing you from the already proven sustainable business model to give you long-term growth.
Mm-hmm.
But because you are chasing that 0.0001 percentage point of profit this quarter, instead of acknowledging that it is a process, we're all still going to be rich anyways. My shareholders really don't need that trillionth of a percentage point, except they're greedy, so of course they do.
Okay, but the thing about shareholders is that you can convince your shareholders. You have to convince your shareholders that what you want is what they want.
Yes. You got to make them feel good. Right?
Yeah, shareholders don't fucking know.
The easiest way to make a shareholder feel good is show number go up, like you were saying earlier. That is the easiest way. Instead of doing your job and explaining why they should feel good about this long-term growth project, they just, if your only skill is saying number go up, then that's the only language they will communicate to you in. So that's,
but like also the thing is like you can like, I mean, there's always a thing of like, here are the plans to make number go up. It, even if you don't really follow through, everybody's got goldfish memory. They don't remember the 5 years return on investment except for that one guy. And by then half of the other people had already been replaced.
yeah. So the short-sightedness and just generally being bad at their job, and yes, talking to shareholders is part of their job, and they are universally bad at it.
So bad all the time. I'm like, how are you all consistently bad at doing your job?
Consistently. But every industry that has, because this isn't unique to gaming, this is everything. People come in, venture capital hasn't hit major gaming institutions yet, but it's the same model of acquire these things, sell them off for parts, and then chase that smallest percentage point of growth for the quarter. That's why we acquire all of these Artour studios, because, hey, they made a thing that people like. Make another thing that people like. Okay, but that thing that people liked isn't going to give you the profit that you want. Yeah, whatever. Make the thing people like. Cool, that wasn't enough. Would have stripped you down for parts and send you to the mines.
Bro. I swear to God, I sorry. I've been on a retro FPS kick, like playing like classics. I'm like, playing a Hexen, Power Slave, Doom, Sin. Like I've been going back and doing that. And I realize that everyone responsible for those games are all making Call of Duty almost to the developer. It's exactly what you said. Make what people like. Oh no, go to the mines. There are serious mines. Those mines are filled with the great artists of our time. Just they're filled. My God. Free that.
Make me another Sabrina Carpenter. Make me another Olivia Rodrigo. I don't know pop. Those are the only two I know.
Listen, you ain't gotta know we're of the age. We are of that age. It don't matter. I was gonna make a Knicks reference, but I can't because you're a Spurs fan. So, like, I was gonna say Wu-Tang played, and that's why the Knicks rallied in game. That's why the Knicks rallied in that big lead. They didn't want to embarrass himself in front of the whole Wu-Tang clan, but that's not relevant to you. In fact, that's not relevant. I'm deeply sorry. Wu-Tang clan did it. Wu-Tang clan did it.
I'm a Spurs fan, but I'm black. Like, yes. Wu-Tang losing halftime, I was like, oh, we're losing this game. But I'm 20. You don't understand. Ghostface and you God are there. We're not winning today. It's okay. It's okay. It's hand on my favorite meme of like the last 3 years. It's that guy putting his hand on the shoulder.
Yeah.
We're not winning today, brother. It's not happening.
Yo, I would say this, and this is a funny one. That halftime, that day, that game was the closest the MNBA got to like proper, like some cities in the WNBA are so close to the neighborhood and the culture of the town that they're representing. Like a Minnesota Lynx game, for example, is so black and so queer and so Minnesota. That game was so New York in the way that niggas remember it for the gentrifiers, and the people from out of town are like still refer to those jokes because the jokes are like, it's like a time release thing where people still talk about Timbs and stuff. Like we still wear those. Nobody wears those anymore. But it was so.
Except for people not from New York.
Nobody wears Timbs. Those are horrible fucking boots. They're like fucking stilettos. Niggas wearing Timbs are going for an aesthetic, and as soon as their feet touch the car, they're going back into flip-flops. Ain't nobody wearing no fucking Timbs for real.
I have some unfortunate news to you about fashion right now.
Listen, Nobody's listening. It's cool. I'm telling you that if anybody's wearing Timbs, they're taking off the Timbs when the cameras are off. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they're not wearing Timbs on camera. I'm saying they're not wearing Timbs off camera. They are horrible rock shoes. They're iconic rock shoes. God bless them. Granite shoes filled with gravel. Absolutely unsupportive. Iconic. Good for kicking. That's it. And then you got to take it off because there's no support. So you kick, you done sprain your own toe and crack somebody else's leg. So now the shoes got to come off. Everybody's uncomfortable. Horrible fucking boots. Iconic though. Good on them. But yes. How much time do we have with you, Justin? Because I feel like
About 10 more minutes.
Okay. So we're gonna let you pivot to anything that is catching your eye, or we're gonna shut it down. Because like I said, I want to give you the proper time on the show. I don't want you to leave. You're like Batman, where in the middle of the podcast there's just like a quarter spinning around on the diner table, and me and Bacon are just talking to each other for the last 15 minutes of the show. And I don't want to keep doing that.
I mean, this would have been the perfect time to do it because the next thing on the agenda, I think, is Destiny shutting down. And I guess I can start that because I'm someone that hopped off Destiny 2 early. And then you two were actually more involved with Destiny 2. And
Actually, no, you are great for this because I hopped off before you. I just know Aaron.
Okay.
I've just been on the ride with Aaron and like paying attention and listening, but I hopped off first.
Yeah, no, I can hear to corroborate. I played more Destiny than everyone. I've been 800 hours a year for 7 years in a row until Edge of Fate because Bungie went crazy and was coming at me crazy for my money and my time, and I'm like, oh, I'm old, I might die. Don't got it, big dog. And then I skipped that year, and then the game ended. So
yeah.
You know.
Basically, like me, I looked and I was just like, oh, I've seen this story with men 500 times before, and I'm just going to pack my bags and walk out the door early.
Oh, yeah, no. That's why I wasn't.
I smelt the perfume in the air and went, never mind.
Outside of the enjoyment of playing with you that several of us felt, there was no real structural reason to get you to back into the game besides, hey, Bacon, you want to come play some Destiny? And then you were like, no. And then I was like, well, all right, we tried. Because there's no real reason to talk you. There's no way, there's no leverage to talk you into it. So, yeah, we were just like, how about now? And you were like, nope. And it was like, yeah, you know, all right. And my friend Thad, I was like, all right, Thad, you go in and do it. And Thad was like, hey. And you were like, nope. And I was like, all right, well, we tried. We're out of ideas. Time to lay ourselves off. No, I'm kidding. That's dark. I'm sorry, boy. But yes, someone, I guess, I don't know. What were you thinking, Justin? I can help straighten anything that needs to be straightened out.
Well, no, there's nothing that needs to be straightened out, at least from my perspective, because what was the expansion with the Infinite Forest?
That was Warmind, I believe. It was Warmind.
And then they took the Infinite Forest away.
Curse of Osiris,
yeah. And I was digging the story, I was digging the lore, I was digging the Infinite Forest, then they took the forest away. And I was like, oh, you don't respect my time.
Oh no, they never gave you the forest. That was the hook. You were in the forest for missions. You were never in the forest in any type of discovery piece. You were never looking through.
Okay,
you were never, the Infinite Forest never exposed any of its secrets narratively to you in a gameplay sense. They locked the door as soon as the DLC ended. Never opened it again.
Okay, I seem to remember there was an event where like you could do the Infinite Forest for like a seasonal. Yeah,
Halloween. They had a roguelike situation where the arenas when the enemies were randomized and you ran through them to the end. Yes, that was what you did in the Infinite Forest. They turned it into a Halloween event,
and that's when I realized they don't respect my time.
No, they got better, but that was when I stopped playing too. I actually played Monster Hunter World for a full year. I remember. I remember when I went to the Infinite Forest and there was no, and I had to go on Reddit. I remember there was a Reddit post about why, and I looked online and there was like people were like, the Infinite Forest is broken. What do I have to do to access it after the campaign is over? And then people did the meme. They were like, all right, son.
Put hand on shoulder.
Hand on shoulder. They're like, all right, we got some bad news for you, big dog.
Oh man. And then like each expansion would come out, I'd like peek my head in. I tried so hard not to be the person that's like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to Destiny. No, I'm not going back to Destiny.
No. Forsaken. So there was a good streak, I think, from Forsaken until the final shape. It was very steady. A little uneven, but it wasn't as bad as before Forsaken. Some of the DLCs were a little wobbly in spots. The campaign for the Neomuna play space in Lightfall was really bad, but the additions they made to the game were great. Witch Queen was a standout. Beyond Light was very good. I even like Shadowkeep, where they just brought back the moon because they did a very good job with it. There were some real highlights in its design and its evolution into a game that respects your time and is again owning the fact that it's an MMO over time. It still had its problems, mostly because of mismanagement. Apparently, Bungie was working on, I think they had 5 games in the incubator. They had 5 games cooking. Instead of focusing on Destiny, they were trying to begin development on 5 other games so that they could drive their value up, so they could sell to someone, I believe. And then they sold to Sony, wildly misrepresented themselves. And that kind of paired up with Lightfall coming out. And Lightfall wasn't received well because it was very wobbly. And the Neomuna space wasn't great. It was very much significantly less content and much worse than Witch Queen the year before, which is very good. It says it began the boycott Destiny thing that I think really that was when the game lost a big chunk of its player base for the first time. And people came back for the final shape. But by then, the process had already begun. People were getting laid off before the final shape. People got laid off after the final shape. I think it's like 600 layoffs between both sides of the DLC. And then the Edge of Fate came. They ended the story and they meandered a bit. And it wasn't clear what they were going to do. And then they announced Edge of Fate, which is a new story. But I was like, after 700 layoffs, what do you mean new story? That doesn't sound like a thing you have the people to do. And they yada yada. It was my favorite thing is the uncomfortable, very, very, very. It was like having a dinner party with your spouse you just found out was cheating on you like the morning, but you still have the dinner party scheduled, so it's very awkward and everyone has trying to play. Very cool. It's like, here's some Destiny content live stream from Edge of Fate. They didn't have enough content at any point. It happened about 2 or 3 times. They were not showing us anything, and it was very awkward. And people were like, are you guys sure you're going to be able to do this? And they were like, yeah. You guys okay? Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, we're just new story, getting ready for another saga.
Yeah, we're putting this team on the new story. That team is the maintenance team.
Yeah, maintenance team, AI. Hey, listen, and after several months of an AI, I maintain AI coding because some of the mistakes that every week there was a patch and the day after there was a shutdown because they had to correct the patch every week for months. The story, if there was a novel for Edge of Fate, it would be a good novel. There was no way they were going to finish that story in a timely manner. They were running, and people were blaming Marathon for this, but I don't necessarily think it was Marathon. I think it was just they were stripped down. They laid off 700 people. The ownership group trying to scam, full stop, to make money off this sale. They had to get 1, Marathon out the door, and 2, it didn't matter. They just needed to try and squeeze out a little bit more out of Destiny. And the way it wound up was just the game ending after a loss of audience between Edge of Fate and Lightfall. Final Shape was very good. And here we are. I was always very worried about how this was all going. The fan response was making Sony's job easier. And it became easier. And I think it was a lot of corporate interference for Edge of Fate, because as soon as they announced that the game was going, they just kind of like the massive patch. I think it's called something of Triumph, and it's almost every single logical change from the final shape that would have happened if the corporate meddling didn't change how the game fundamentally worked in a way that offended everybody. So I think someone instructed the pilot to fly the blimp into the clock tower, and I don't know if and when we're gonna find out about it, but it's a shame because Destiny had righted the ship, but the ship was never of quality construction to begin with.
Yeah.
So it's
That's unfortunate.
yeah.
Because there was a good game in there. And you brought this up on an earlier show. Y'all were saying boycott Destiny. Hey, message received. Got it.
Yeah.
You don't want Destiny anymore. Let's shut down Destiny.
Yeah, it's a fundamental misunderstanding of gamers have a fundamental misunderstanding of when your developer is independent. So like asking the Warframe devs who are independent to do stuff, they will do stuff, and it's happened. Bungie's owned by Sony, so you might not be able to ask them to do the same thing that you would be able to ask the Warframe developers. And if you go too crazy on the devs and on the game, they're gonna just dissolve it because Sony doesn't care. Again, it's like Galactus in outer space. It doesn't care. It will just consume the morsel in its hand one way or the other. Doesn't care. I feel like that about Marathon. Is a lot of Marathons having a lot of trouble because Destiny 2's fate has taken the air out of the room. And because people don't know what's going on, they blame Marathon. And it's like, it's not. It's executive greed, like straight greed, straight scammery. People made out 7-8 figures on this deal and are gone. Like, there are several people who may or may not be overdosing on very expensive drugs right now off the scam that they pulled and leaving it all in the hands of the developers and the public who we don't harass enough executives as a country. We don't. We harass artists and only artists. Executives are the one that scam. We don't harass nearly enough executives. And I feel like Marathon's... It's hard to tell because Marathon is really light in construction. Like I said, it's an extraction shooter with lots of lore and lots of nuance, but it's four maps. It's 4 maps, a lot of music, a lot of lore, a lot of voice acting resources. But at the end of the day, it's still significantly smaller than Destiny. So I think it'd be harder to starve. But
there's nothing like to starve.
Right. So it's like it's a significantly lighter entity to be able to survive this, but the fact is the unfortunate circumstances of its own existence doesn't bode well for it. There was like a permanent drop in the player base once Destiny was like if you look at it, once Destiny was discontinued. So we don't harass enough executives, and I feel like a real genuine like revolutionary, like that's like the closest I'm gonna get to like waving a rifle in front of City Hall, you know what I mean? It's like we don't harass enough executives as a
Why are we harassing like the actual people who matter?
Right. We don't harass them. We don't harass the people who are making the decisions, who are straight scamming and setting people and pushing people out into the mob. Whoever's pushed that developer down the stairs into the mob is the person that you should be worried about, not the person that they threw at you. That person just works there. They're an artist. They're trying to do an artistic thing, and they're being scapegoated. Whoever's planning the scapegoat is to blame. Please.
Yeah, but that requires I think about the problem, and I just want to be mad.
Yeah.
Okay, but we can walk and chew gum at the same time. I can think about the problem and be fucking mad.
2026.
It's 2026. That means people need to start doing that.
We've lost the skill. We've lost the use of that skill.
When we have it, time to learn it.
Listen, I believe in your dream. Let's just say I fully support.
This isn't a dream. This is a fact of life. This is a hard truth.
Yeah, it's
go to fucking therapy.
Beautiful dream.
There's a lot of ways that's free now.
Yeah, that would require people.
Bitch ain't got a job. You on Medicaid now? Go to your neighborhood therapy clinic.
Yeah, but if ChatGPT wouldn't tell me to do it, is it really advice?
I mean, ChatGPT not telling you to do it means that your algorithms suck.
Listen, so
I'm just saying.
The lengths that people, specifically men, will go through to avoid therapy, that is another show entirely.
Listen, brother, you ain't gotta tell me. You know what I've been doing with my life.
I feel like I'm leading a one-man crusade amongst my male friends to be like, hey, you know what helps me? Therapy. You know what would help you guys? Therapy. It's like, or, anyways, different show, possibly play the music conversations, but yeah.
Listen, when you are back again, that is the first thing we will talk about because it's an evergreen topic. The boys are having some trouble, and it manifests in how we treat literally everything around us, including each other and our entertainment. The lack of therapy is part of the reason why so many boys are blaming Marathon. They're on the internet screaming at Marathon when the problem is that there are about 6 or 7 really wealthy executives who made a big chunk of money off the deal and are gone. That's who you blame. But that requires thought. Too busy being mad. Too busy with grief that I don't know how to process because I was never given the tools because of problematic family and toxic masculinity. So it all connects, is an evergreen conversation for another day, but not today. All right, everybody, we're going to have to pack it up. Thank you, Justin, for being here for the entire program. Appreciate you as always.
Always. We love Justin here.
We do. We love Justin. Here. That's right. We fuck with Justin on this podcast. That's what we do here. We don't fuck with Ollie Welsh, though. Get out of here. Yeah, that'll be that for us. And we will see you guys as soon as possible. And thank you guys for listening. And have a pleasant day.
Go ahead, stand up, stand up, stand up.